Hello, my name is Claire Malone and I am a Disability Officer and Occupational Therapist at Trinity College Dublin. This presentation will give you an overview of the disability access route to education and the disability supports that are available at Trinity. The Disability Service at Trinity is based in the Disability Hub, which is a new development on the Trinity campus in Printing House Square. We are responsible for ensuring that students with disabilities have access to reasonable accommodations and any other supports they may need to assist them in the management of their disability during their studies. There are currently over 1,800 students at Trinity who have applied for reasonable accommodations through the service, and this represents roughly 10% of the total student population. There's a team of 9 staff, which includes disability officers, occupational therapists, an assistive technologist, and an academic support specialist. I'll provide some more details about how the service supports students and what resources we can offer shortly, but for now I'll give an overview of the Disability Access Route to Education, which is also known as the DARE scheme. DARE is an admissions scheme for school leavers under the age of 23 who have experienced a negative impact on their second level education due to disability. It aims to promote access to third level education by offering an opportunity to achieve a reduced points place on a course. There are 27 third level institutions participating across Ireland, so there's a broad range of study options. This slide gives an idea of the available DARE places at Trinity based on new entrants in 2020. As you can see, the DARE places are spread across all course types, with high numbers of places in the arts and sciences, as well as across the health sciences. So what are the benefits of DARE? The main benefit is the points reduction. This means that a DARE applicant may still be offered a place on their chosen course even if they don't achieve the minimum number of CAO points required. The number of points reduced will vary each year depending on the number of places on the course, the number of DARE places reserved on the course, and the number of DARE applicants competing for a place. At Trinity, approximately 8% of the total number of places on each course are reserved for DARE eligible applicants each year. But the points reduction will vary. It's important to note that applicants still have to meet the other entry requirements of the course that they are applying for, but most colleges will accept applications for language or maths waivers, and these can be applied for directly through the college. Other benefits of DARE include specialised orientation programmes, learning support, assistive technology, exam accommodations, library supports, and access to educational support workers. It's important to note that you don't need to be eligible for DARE to access disability supports in third level institutions, and you can still benefit from these types of resources and supports even if your DARE application isn't successful. You should apply to DARE if your disability has had a negative impact on your educational performance in school, if you might not be able to meet the points required for your preferred course due to the impact of a disability, if you are under 23 years of age as of the 1st of January 2021. This slide shows a list of the different disability categories that may be considered for DARE. You'll find specific information about the criteria and requirements for each of these disability types in the DARE handbook. The DARE handbook can be found at www.accesscollege.ie. To be deemed eligible for DARE, an applicant must meet educational impact criteria and evidence of disability criteria. It is not sufficient to provide evidence of one or the other. The application for DARE is completed as an additional part of your CAO application on the CAO online portal www.cao.ie. and to apply for DARE, you will need to apply to the CAO by the 1st of February 2021. It's important to read the DARE handbook carefully to ensure you understand the process and the requirements, and it can be helpful to do this with a parent or a guardian. The DARE application involves completing Section A of the Supplementary Information Form and selecting Yes to Question 1 to indicate that you would like to apply for DARE. The deadline for starting your application to DARE is the 1st of March 2021. It's important to start gathering your documentation as far in advance as possible, so familiarise yourself with what's needed by reviewing the handbook and start gathering your information as soon as you can. To complete your DARE application, you will need to submit an educational impact statement and an evidence of disability form to the CAO by the 15th of March 2021. There are 3 different sections in the DARE application. Section A, Applicant Information, can be completed by the applicant, and this must be done by the 1st of March 2021. Once you have answered yes to question 1 to indicate that you wish to apply for DARE, you will be asked to complete 5 questions. If you are reapplying to the CAO and have been deemed DARE eligible in a previous year, there is an option 1B, which will allow you to carry forward past DARE eligibility. Section B is the Educational Impact Statement. This is completed by your school and must be submitted to the CAO by the applicant by the 15th of March 2021. Section C is Evidence of Disability. This is completed by your relevant medical or healthcare professional and must be submitted to the CAO by the applicant also by the 15th of March 2021. Section B, the Educational Impact Statement, provides information on how your disability has impacted on your second level education. You should download the form on CAO online and complete the applicant checklist with your school. The rest of the form will be completed by a staff member of your school, such as your guidance counsellor or resource teacher, who will fill in some information about any supports you've received in school, how your disability has impacted your attendance, learning, or exam results, as well as the impact on your school experience and well-being. If you are applying with a specific learning difficulty such as dyslexia, you will also be asked to include information about the impact on your literacy or numeracy skills. The Educational Impact Statement must be signed and stamped by your principal or deputy principal. Section C, Evidence of Disability, provides verification of your disability diagnosis and also helps to identify what types of supports you might require at third level. You can provide an existing assessment or report of your diagnosis or ask your professional to complete the Evidence of Disability form. It's very important that the form is completed fully and any documents you submit should be signed and stamped or accompanied by the business card or headed paper of the professional or service. Your GP may complete the Evidence of Disability form in the case of some disability types, but they must have a copy of the appropriate information from the diagnosing consultant or specialist on file. They should provide you with copies of this documentation with your Evidence of Disability form if this is the case. Please review the information in the DARE handbook about the requirements for evidence of disability very carefully, as there are specific instructions for the different disability types and there may be an age requirement for the type of documentation that you submit. For example, applicants applying with a mental health condition must provide documentation that is less than 3 years old. This slide shows the timeline for completing your DARE application and the key dates to be aware of. The CAO process opens on the 5th of November and you will be able to start your DARE application from this time. It's recommended to start as soon as possible to ensure you have plenty of time to get organised. Full details of the DARE application process, including the handbook, copies of the forms, and a helpful FAQ can be found on accesscollege.ie. It's useful to note that you can apply for both DARE and the HERE scheme, which is an additional access scheme that is open to students who are socio-economically disadvantaged. Additional information about DARE, the CAO, and the SUSI Student Grant Scheme can be found on the websites listed on this slide. We would also recommend keeping an eye out for the DARE and HERE applicant information days. These will take place on the 9th of January 2021, and full details will be posted on accesscollege.ie. Finally, here is some information about how the disability supports work at Trinity. Students can apply for reasonable accommodations online on their student portal, my.tcd.ie. Following application and review of a student's evidence of disability, a student will be assigned a disability officer. A disability officer will meet you for a needs assessment to discuss your support requirements. Following a needs assessment, the disability officer and the student will draft a LENS report. The LENS report is a disability passport, and it's used to document all of the reasonable accommodations and supports that a student has been granted. The LENS report is then used to communicate these to the various areas of college that are responsible for putting the reasonable accommodations in place. Here are a few examples of some of the reasonable accommodations and disability resources that are available at Trinity. Accommodations for exams, such as extra time and a separate exam venue. Access to assistive technology tools and supports. Additional library supports. Occupational therapy. Educational support workers, such as note takers. Specialist academic support appointments, assistance with an application for residential accommodation, and support with professional placement planning. In addition to the resources and reasonable accommodations that are available at Trinity, there are also initiatives such as the Trinity Ability Co-op, which is student-led and a group that works together to achieve greater inclusion at Trinity. It's a good opportunity for students with disabilities to work together to raise awareness of disability issues and promote accessibility on the campus. If you're interested in the work of the Ability Co-op, check out their website, abilitycoop.com. The Disability Service operates a drop-in service for students, and a disability officer is available weekdays from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. to answer questions and assist students with applying for reasonable accommodations. Students are also welcome to contact us on our email address, askds@tcd.ie. If you have any queries about the supports that are available at Trinity, applying for the DARE scheme, or any other areas that we can assist with, please don't hesitate to get in touch. I hope you found this presentation useful. Our contact details are on this slide, and the best of luck to all who are applying to Trinity.